Well, developing today, a small plane that took off from JFK Airport crashed just outside New York City, killing 2 men on their way to Ohio. This is the latest incident involving planes that use the runways at that Queens airport in the past week or so. Reporter Steve Kusch from our New York affiliate. Following this story, he joins us live. So, Steve, what do we know about what went wrong on board before the plane crashed?
You know, Kelly, that is exactly what the NTSB and FAA and the family of these victims all are trying to get to the bottom of tonight. What we can go off of right now are the weather reports and also what the pilot was able to radio in an emergency mayday call to traffic controllers shortly before the plane went down. As for the weather itself, officials out here say it was brutal. They were dealing with heavy rains and lightning in this area of Westchester County, White Plains, New York, where the plane was flying overhead. And then when the plane was up in the air, a couple thousand feet up, the pilot radioed in saying that they all of a sudden lost oil pressure. And anybody who's ever flown knows without oil pressure, the engine really isn't going to be able to run much longer, do you any good. And from that point, the plane has to simply try to glide its way down and find someplace safe to land. That is easier said than done, of course, Kelly. It takes a miracle in some instances to pull that off. And unfortunately, the pilot in this case just wasn't able to do it. The plane crashed in this forest you see behind me here in White Plains, New York. They have officers and investigators still here on the site. What I can tell you is that the bodies of the 2 people who died, they have been removed and flown back to their relatives in Cleveland, Ohio. They have been identified to us as Benjamin Chaffetz and Baruch Taub, both in their 40s. The real tough part now is going through the wreckage site, Kelly, kind of piecing this plane back together, trying to reach it first off, because it's really deep in these woods. There really isn't a good way to get to it. But they got to take the wreckage of this plane and then reassemble it to try to figure out what went wrong, what caused this engine failure that led to this absolute catastrophe, Kelly.
Yeah, we'll be waiting to hear. Reporter Steve Kusch in New York. Thank you for that detailed report.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.